and welcome to Mama of the Wild Crew podcast. This space is for all the mamas out there. Whether you're a mom-to-be, a mom of 1 or 6, or even an empty nester, motherhood isn't always easy, and it's definitely not perfect, but it's a beautifully amazing, wild ride. From tantrums to sleepless nights, to first bike rides without training wheels, to college graduations, we're here for all of it. I'm your host, Alexis Schmoker. I'm a wife, mama to 2 beautiful babies. I'm a nurse and a lover of Jesus. I created this podcast to connect with other mamas, share their stories, and find joy in the beautiful chaos we call motherhood. So grab your cup of coffee or whatever fuels you. Let's dive in. Hey mamas, and welcome to another episode of Mama of the Wild Crew podcast. I am Alexis Schmoker, your host, and today I have the absolute honor of introducing a very special guest, a man who wears many hats and holds many incredible titles. He's a 2-time All-American retired professional soccer player, a men's soccer coach at the largest high school in Oklahoma, a biology teacher, a Native American author of a children's series, that's a new one, an avid student of mindfulness, but above all, he's an amazing father of 2 beautiful children, and my absolute favorite title holder, my husband. And I know he's cringing right now because he does not like bragging about himself, but that's what I'm for. So listeners, I'm beyond excited to introduce you to the man of my dreams, the love of my life, today's guest on the podcast, Jordan Schmoker. Hey, babe. Do you want to say hello and share a little bit about yourself with the listeners?
Hey, what's going on, listeners? I'm Jordan.
Okay, sorry. We had to redo that like 3 times because we were just dying laughing. But, okay, so as you know, babe, because you listen to every single podcast episode, because I make you listen to them first, so thank you for being such a good sport. In the spirit of keeping it real, every mom who comes on the Mama of the Wild Crew podcast has to answer this one question. So, can you share, what is your dad fail?
My biggest dad fail. I'd like to say I'm doing it better the second time around, but the first time around, I've had a couple dad fails kind of in a series. So I'm just going to tell you the story of the dad fails because they kind of accumulate and go on top of each other. So my first one going into it was not knowing my wife was in active labor. I thought we were at the hospital, and I thought, this big thing. I thought you would always know when your wife is in labor because everything I've seen, they were screaming. It was very apparent. There was all kind of nurses in there, and I actually slept for, I want to say, 12 out of the 15 hours that you were in active labor. So that was the start. That was the start of me on my dad fail, and then going to it. It was the next day, or maybe it was a couple days, but the next day I forgot to fill the car up with gas, and I don't know where my mind went, but I just did not fill the car up with gas, and we only had 1 car seat in at the time, and I actually made us miss our first Crew Pearl's first doctor's appointment, and that was on me.
Okay, but in your defense, we went into the hospital unexpectedly. So the car, yes, was out of gas by the time we got home. I wouldn't say I don't know. I've never ran out of gas in my car, so I don't know what was going on. So the car was out of gas, and on top of it, it was an ice storm. So, it was just kind of a series of not. But we made it through. And like you said, the second time around, you were on it, and you knew. You were resting up for your moment to shine the first time during active labor. Guys, we went in the hospital at like 4 p.m. the night before. And he slept all night long like a sweet little baby, just preparing himself for labor while I was up all night in labor. But it's okay. You're right. The second time was much better, and I thought it was great. Okay. So my mom, Pearl, also we call her Mother Pearl. she took the kids after church today to give us some time to prep because we have Wilder's baby dedication coming up at the end of the month. And we're so excited to get him dedicated at our church at the end of the month. But we have some homework that we had to do for this baby dedication. So we attended this orientation class, and then we had 2 videos that we had to watch, which I thought were both really great. The first video, it was like a husband-wife duo. So the husband did the first video and the wife did the second one. But in the first video, the husband spoke about just thinking of 3 to 5 characteristics that you want to pray over your child and that you want your child to embody throughout his or her lifetime. And then the wife spoke about just widening your circle, which I thought really resonated with me because that is one of the reasons that I wanted to do this podcast too, is to widen the circle, not just for me, but for other moms out there. And there are so many voices out there that I really feel like it's essential to have a strong, Jesus-loving individuals pouring into your child, because there are so many things out there pouring into your child. So just like surrounding yourself with those people. Another thing that the husband said too was about thinking about not what you want your child to do, right? But who you want your child to be. So we had to make this video, and we finished the video before we started this, and it only took us like 57 tries because we couldn't stop laughing. And then like I would mess up mine, and then he would do his part well, and then he would mess up his. We got through it, and so we will get to the rest of that at the end. But I think it's important to give a little backstory on how we have these 2 beautiful children. What do you think?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. So I don't know. I think with our love story, like the overarching theme in the early years, because I feel like our love story started way before we knew it did. The early years was that when I'm like looking back on our journey, our paths actually crossed 3 different times before our first big like meeting. Well, I guess we already knew each other, but our first big, what would you say, like dating time?
First dating time, or first even like looks at dating time, yeah.
Yeah, consideration of dating time, I guess. So here we are like in this beautiful season of marriage with 2 children, and we look back and we crossed paths in high school, we crossed paths in college, and then we crossed paths kind of like post-college before we both moved. So in high school, we were both dating different people, and you were playing soccer, and we kind of were like acquaintances. Mm-hmm. And then in college, we were both visiting friends at a college that neither of us went to. When I was walking by a window and saw you eating inside of the restaurant with the Gunters, who are some of our very best friends to this day, eating inside the restaurant, and I pounded on the glass. That sounds so embarrassing. Fuzzy's Taco Shop in Stillwater. I pounded on the glass and like made a funny face or something.
I didn't think you said anything. I think you just like stuck your tongue out and said,
and then just kept walking. Yep. And then right before we both moved, so one of my best friends had a big breakup when we were, I don't know, maybe 20, just turning 21. Had a big breakup, and so I did what any friend would do, and I threw her a fake bachelorette party. And in that fake bachelorette party, I had to hire dancers. I say that like in a joking manner. So I texted my friend to come over and do a performance, and nonetheless, here comes Jordan Schmoker that night to be a dancer at my friend's fake bachelorette party. And the next day, I moved to New York for nursing school and kind of went through like a hard season of my life there. And you, right after that, moved to Antigua. And how do you say
pretty much like a year after that, Antigua.
Because you were playing soccer. So I think it shows, like in Leviticus 26, God will be faithful even when his people are faithless, and he will pursue us even when we go astray. So I feel like those times when I look back, I can see myself going astray, even though I didn't feel really like I was in the time. And there God was like planting you in my life the whole time. I mean, hours before I was going on a path that really like led into a hard season of my life. And even this morning I was listening to that Counting My Blessings song, and it says, the more I look at the details, the more of your goodness I find. And I think that's like so true for me. I don't know about you, but looking back, like I just see so many moments that God had like orchestrated together in our lives that I just had no idea at the time.
Yeah, I would say so. I think even getting the call to come on over that night, it was something I've never done before, or have ever done since, or even thought about, or putting myself in that situation. But I just got done. We had a game that day, and Kaspars calls me up and says, "Hey, you got to come do this." And when a friend calls, I usually answer. And so we went, and yeah, it was a...
Yeah, set the scene. It was like a Magic Mike performance. Can I say that?
I think you have to say that. I think we have to set the tone. Magic Mike had just come out, and...
Yeah, and my friend was sad. So anyway, it ended up being a super fun night. And now, I mean, my friend has made it through. She is now married with 3 beautiful girls, and we had a great time. So I recommend, if your friend is going through a hard time, throw her a fake bachelorette party, because that brought a lot of joy, and we had fun.
It could lead to your future husband.
It could lead to your future husband. You never know who's just right there ready to dance for you. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so that brings us to the point where we're both back in Tulsa. So I moved back from New York, and you just moved back from Antigua. Well, I had been back from New York for about a year, and I needed that time to, like, rediscover myself, I guess. So you just moved back from Antigua, and we both got on Tinder. Y'all remember Tinder? Yeah, like the dating app Tinder. So yes, we're a Tinder marriage. So babe, tell them about Tinder. What was your first impression? Where did it go from there?
My first impression on Tinder, I had never actually used Tinder before that. Like, I had got on and I messed around, but I had never messaged anyone or anything like that.
He has to say that.
No, I'm serious. But yeah, we got on, and I saw this button that said super like, and I said, oh, that's pretty cool. So I was going through, and Alexis showed up, and I, of course, hit the super like. And then it came back that she had super liked me back. And it was a super like moment, and that kind of sent it to the forefront. I don't even know what happened on it either, but I don't know what I opened up with. I don't know what I said, or maybe you said something. Do you remember how it started?
I think you sent a song, but I don't remember what song it was.
It was probably something from Magic Mike.
So I was leaving for a work trip, like a couple days, the next few days for training. But we had, before I left for the work trip, we had the Hop Jam was coming up. So in Tulsa, they do Mayfest, and the Hanson brothers, like Mbop, you know the song, are from Tulsa. So they were doing this thing at Mayfest called Hop Jam. And so I was going with a few friends, and so I texted Kaspars again and said, hey, we're going to Hop Jam. You should invite Jordan. And so, of course, we're there all day, and Jordan has a game. So he comes later. And so that's kind of like our first hangout with other people, like friends. The first time we hang out, but there's other friends there. So it is at a Hanson concert. So little pre-shadowing, because our son is named Wilder Hanson. And that's from our first hangout at the Hanson concert. And then I leave for a work trip for a few days. And then I come back, and he asked me out on a date. And this is kind of like crazy, but this is the first kind of date that I've had where someone like came and picked me up at my door. All the things. Tell them about our date.
To be honest, it was my first kind of date as well, to ever like really go out and be intentional about picking someone up, bringing them flowers, having a theme, telling them what to wear. And we kind of went through all the things and just tried to do it right. Because it felt different. I mean, even from the start, it kind of felt different. We were in a different time of life. I wasn't really dating to date at that point. It was dating for marriage and looking into that. Or I guess I've always dated for marriage, but now it was a little bit more serious. And so wanted to do it right. And
yeah. And he texted and gave me a theme. So he said that it was a Hawaiian theme and that I should wear Hawaiian themed clothing. So I wore like a cute little pink Hawaiian outfit kind of thing. And he took me to Paradise Cove, which is like a Margaritaville kind of restaurant. And we pretended like we were in Hawaii and had a Hawaiian themed date. And it was so fun. I thought it was so silly at first.
Yeah, I thought it was silly too, to be honest. But yeah. I think I had just gotten back from the Caribbean. I was in an island state of mind.
Yeah.
All of my clothes at that time were Hawaiian shirts anyway. So
yeah, and I had never had someone like tell me kind of like a theme or what to wear. You know, I feel like normally you're like, oh, what should I wear? Texting. And I felt like it was nice to like not have to decide or have a guy text and say like, where do you want to go eat? I don't want to decide that. And if you really get to know me too, you know I do not want to decide that. I cannot decide. I can make a lot of big decisions, but little decisions I feel like I can't make. I can't compare things because I just can't do it. And I cannot decide where to eat. I need you just to tell me. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was really nice that you had texted, like had a plan. You were intentional about having a plan, and it made me feel like you thought about our date and put, effort into it. So I thought that was really nice. And then our third date, I already knew that I was in love and we were getting married. So I invited him, obviously, on our family vacation to Florida for our third date. And he went. So what did you think whenever I was like, hey, I know that we really only had like one date on our own yesterday, and tomorrow my family is going to Florida. Do you want to come with us? And you agreed.
No hesitation. Absolute yes. Let's go to Florida. I think at that point I think when you had the feelings and it feels good, it feels right, and there was never like an awkwardness. Looking back, like outside in, hearing that, I'm like, how did I ever agree to that? But in the moment and in the time, it was yes. Let's go have a good time. Met the parents.
Yes, and I mean like my family vacation. Like It was my parents, both of my sisters, me, and my not even new boy, my guy that I've gone on 2 dates with that I had declared that I was ready to marry. And so we just started, it was just that from there. We were just dating. And well, one of us we were both dating, but one of us were engaged because I already loved you. So can you do you remember when I first told you I loved you?
Nah, you remind me all the time.
So he was asleep. I thought he was asleep. And it was kind of one of those things where I thought I was being so sweet, like looking at him. Oh, he's so cute. I really like him. And I just had this overwhelming feeling like, oh, I love him. And so I was just petting his head while he was sleeping, and I whispered, I love you. And he opened up his eyes so big and said, oh, no, and then fell back asleep. And then we didn't talk about it for like 2 months. We just acted like it didn't happen. And then one time I was, like 2 months later, I was going into work, I think. I worked night shift here and there because I worked like crazy at that time. And I think how old were we? Maybe 22 or 23?
It's all a blur.
We were both 22, I think, and turning 23. Or maybe we were 23 turning 24. Yeah. 2017, however old we were then. So I had dropped you off at a birthday party, and I couldn't go because I was going into work. And you got out of the car, and you said, I love you, and shut the door. And that was the first time you said, I love you. Do you remember that?
I hate to say it, but I do not remember that.
Don't remember. It's okay. And then after that, you just said, I love you, and then we just said, I love you to each other, and that was that. And we just went from there, and now we're married, so it's fine. It all turned out fine, but it was embarrassing. But we made it. It's okay.
Well, now that you know me a little bit better, you know that I sleep talk all the time.
He does sleep talk
and
all
even
the time,
in terms
and sleepwalk.
Of when I say I don't remember that, I might have been sleep talking, sleepwalking. I'm trying to say that I do remember you staring at me. I do remember that.
I was traumatized. I actually worked with my mom. And so I was at the hospital the next day working. And I remember going into her office and just sitting down. And like she could tell that I was freaking out. And she's like, what is wrong? And I was like, well, and I told her the story. And I remember her just like trying to come up with something to say that was reassuring. And I remember just being like, Mom, I know it was weird. Because it was weird. And I don't know what else to say about it. It was weird. So anyway, fast forward. I was ready to get married right away, and Jordan said that he thought that we should be dating for 4 years before we got married. So we compromised, and we dated for 4 years before we got married. And so fast forward, we got married in the courthouse in February of 2021 due to COVID. And we're still not really sure about the date because we went in and got the paperwork and signed it. And then again, an ice storm. We live in Oklahoma, and there's only an ice storm maybe once every 2 years, but all of our big life events have happened during an ice storm. So we got the paperwork and signed it, and it was quite a show there at the Tulsa County Courthouse. The people in front of us didn't know each other's last names, and then there were people like getting in a van in handcuffs and jumpsuits right in front of us. And we had this big dream wedding planned, and it got completely canceled because of COVID. It was 100% done, ready. I'd planned all of it, done all the meetings, just canceled. So that's when we decided to go to the courthouse. So then we go home and we have dinner with just our immediate family that night to sign, like have the witnesses sign the paperwork. And my my middle sister Addison had gotten ordained. So she did the ordaining part, and then both of our moms signed as witnesses. Except for your sweet mom signed where I was supposed to sign. Mm-hmm. So whenever we went to go turn in the paperwork, it almost got filed that you were married your mom.
What a story that would have been, though.
And so, thank goodness, the clerk caught it, and they gave us another piece of paper.
But now that you're a boy mom, it doesn't sound so crazy.
Now that I'm a boy mom, I understand. Yeah. Because I would do anything to marry Wilder. But at the time, I was like, what? So we got it fixed, and now we really are not sure like what date we got married. We say February 10th. And then we had back up. We found out we were pregnant with Crew in May. Mm-hmm. So it was the very end of May, and our wedding reception was going to be the 1st of June, or it was the 1st of June. So we found out we were pregnant with Crew, and we were so excited. And the same day that we found out we were pregnant with Crew, you got a call that you were offered the position at Broken Arrow to coach soccer. Yeah. So you had been coaching soccer at another high school, and Broken Arrow, being the head coach of Broken Arrow, was always a dream, but we just didn't think that it was going to come so soon.
Yeah, it was one of those thinking down the line, maybe 10 years, 10 years, trying to get to work up to something like that. And then all of a sudden you get a call. Mm-hmm.
And so that was like a crazy day. We find out we're pregnant with Crew Pearl, and you get that call. It was Memorial Day? It was a holiday. Is that Memorial Day?
You're asking the wrong guy.
That's in May. I should know that.
I should know that too.
It's either Memorial Day or Labor Day, and I can't remember which one's which, but one of those, I think, is Memorial Day. So that was Memorial Day of 2021. And so we have a big day, and then the next week we have our wedding reception, and we go and live in Hawaii for the summer, and then we come back, and we have our beautiful daughter, Crew Pearl, and she is just our entire world. She was born January 19th of 2022, and like we said earlier, it was kind of an unexpected, early, scary delivery, but even with it being so scary, like I said, Jordan rested, and I had some sort of just, like that peace that makes no sense kind of feeling. So even in the craziness of her having a scary delivery, I feel like it was still so beautiful, and just God had his hand in every part of it. Just us finding out that we needed to go have her, I feel like he had his hand in. the staff there at St. Francis that had her, whenever they all came in and they were needing to get her out like immediately, in just the utter craziness of it, I felt so confident in them, like in the staff that was in the room. And there was, I don't know, I felt like 30 people, and there may have been 30 people in there.
It went from 0 to, I think, yeah, absolutely 30 people. And
yes.
It was a wild 1 minute.
It was a wild 1 minute.
And this is when I thought it was my time to come alive. And I just want to circle back to the dad fellas. In this 1 minute, I came alive.
He came alive.
And I had her doing her breaths. I had her squeezing my hand. And then I realized that
we already had the baby.
We had already, the baby
was already here. She was out. So it was like, we need to get her out immediately. But even in that moment, when I think back to it, like, I remember feeling peace, and my mom and my youngest sister, Avery, were in the room, and my middle sister, Addie, was not, because she just had a baby a couple days, 3 days before. She was leaving the hospital whenever I had crew, went into the hospital. And Avery, my youngest sister, put on Lover by Taylor Swift. So I remember that playing in the background because that was our wedding song. And I just remember feeling like so excited to meet her, and just this peace is even in the midst of such a chaotic moment. So thank you to all the people that we encountered through that entire experience. Everyone was just absolutely amazing, and we could not be more grateful for each and every one of you, especially Dr. Brotherton. We love you. Okay, moving forward, we have a beautiful daughter, and I feel like everything was just absolutely going great. We were moving right along, ticking off all the boxes, the things that I had on our like ideal life checklist, in a sense. We had bought like this little house that we absolutely loved. Everything I had envisioned was happening. And the next thing on my list was to have a second child. And with Crew Pro, like I said, we didn't have any issues getting pregnant, and it was, just so easy, and we were blessed with such a beautiful girl. And so in my naive state, I guess, I assumed that everything was going to go the same way the second time around, and it didn't. We were trying, and I was doing all the tracking and following all the diets and reading everything I could and talking to everyone, and we still just weren't getting pregnant. And I had finally reached a point where I thought, at what point does it go from we're trying to have a baby into, wait a second, we're having a hard time trying to conceive? And I think it was just hard for me to even admit, almost like I didn't feel like I had the right to struggle with fertility issues, or it was hard for me to vocalize it. I'm not sure what it was, but I reached out to the doctor, and she had told me that we needed to be trying for at least a year before we could do any big test, which I thought seemed a little crazy because a year was not in my timeline that I had set, but okay. So we kept trying, and the year mark came. And at that time, then I was able to get all the blood work done and the ultrasounds done that I had been waiting for, and everything came back fine, and I should have been overwhelmed, but with joy. But I think I was almost more frustrated at that point, like, okay, so you're saying everything's fine, but for some reason this isn't happening, and I'm not sure why. And I really had a hard time through that season. And Jordan, I know you were also having a hard time, but I think that you have just always been one that is at peace with God's plan and following God's plan, and kind of you've always had a grasp on his timing.
I think really where I find peace is just honestly thinking that he's got a plan for me, and it's his plan. And I just got to put myself in the right situations and be ready for when he calls on me, or when life goes that way. And I just, it sounds silly, but I just try to always stay ready, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. And today our Pastor Chad had kind of given this example of being like living your life in between these two pillars. One of the pillars says, God is good and God is loving. And the other pillar says God is in control. And if you stray too far left or too far right, that's when you kind of get into this state of anxiety. And I feel like that is what I was in. I was straying too far past God is in control, and it's God's plan and God's timing to trying to get to. But this was my plan and this is my earthly plan, and this is my timing, and it's not working. And that really caused me a lot of anxiety. So I was still holding on to my own earthly plans, and I wasn't like releasing control or surrendering to his plan in that way. I feel like this is kind of when God really stepped in and completely changed our lives. It was during this time of uncertainty and struggle that I began to lean on him more, realizing I couldn't carry the weight of it all on my own. It was a moment where his peace really started to settle in. We were in my mom group, and they talked about the Philippians 4:6-7. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all of understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Jesus Christ. And it was something that I really clung on to, and I even wrote it down like on an index card and put it on our refrigerator and just looked at it, and which is just crazy though, because I wrote down my ideas and notes that we were going to talk about early this morning, and then we went to church today and Chad said this exact verse and explained it, kind of how sometimes people can take it out of context whenever it says do not be anxious about anything, that they almost misunderstand the concept of do not be anxious about anything. It's not a God of punishment, or how would you say? Like, it's not a mean thing. It's not do not be anxious about anything. He kind of used the example of like whenever his kids come in a thunderstorm, he doesn't yell at them like do not be anxious about anything. It's more of like, hey, like, don't be anxious. Come here. Like, your dad's here. I've got you. You're going to be okay. And that's really how I'd always received it. In this scripture really brought me peace in that time. Man, we're really hitting on Chad today. Chad also said he was preaching. Right there, he was preaching a sermon amidst all of this that was going on. And he had given a powerful message about baptism, and something he said had really stuck with me. He mentioned that some of us were christened as babies, which of course we both were because we were both raised Catholic. And he talked about how some people feel like they don't need to be baptized again because it might be going against like their parents' wishes that they wanted for them, or that they felt like they already had been baptized, whatever it may be. And honestly, that's how I felt. And that's kind of how you expressed that you felt too, right? Yeah,
I kind of felt the exact same way. Like, I'd already been baptized. I was good, and I had been through church, and I'd seen baptism before, and I always thought it was kind of, I don't know how to say it, but I always felt kind of weird about the whole situation. And then once he actually explained it to me, some things started moving within me, and then we had those conversations. But it at least started the conversation between us, because I think we were both feeling the same thing in the same moment.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say too, is that, you know, he explained it like your parents christened you because they had dreams for you to have a relationship with God, and you're not going against what your parents wanted, but you're fulfilling everything they prayed for you. And that really hit me hard because we had just baptized or just christened Crew Pearl in the Catholic Church not long before that. So I remember like standing there in such conviction and it being so clear that of course that's what's happening, because that is exactly what we just did. And that's absolutely what we pray for her, is to have a relationship with God. And that was kind of like our dedication to her, that we will raise her like in faith and love. And hopefully one day that she'll choose to have a relationship with God on her own whenever that comes, that she needs to make that decision. And I could feel you standing next to me, like holding my hand, and I could sense that you were feeling the same way, but neither of us said anything like in that moment. And he really did like an altar call then, and people went up and got baptized right there. And right as we got in the car, when we got crew buckled in, we looked at each other and we both said like, we should have gone and got baptized. We were both feeling it. And so it really was heavy on our hearts. And that night we went for a walk at our park, and it was October. We had been on a walk at this park every single night for years, because we live in the house that I grew up in. So I have been on a walk at this park every night for years and years and years, 20 years. And we were on a walk and we were talking about that we felt like we should get baptized, and kind of how we felt about what he had spoke about. And Crew Pearl was just kind of toddling along at that point, but she wanted us to sit in the grass and she was going to walk along the trail. And it's like an asphalt trail. And she's toddling in front of us and she's looking back at us smiling. And all of a sudden, a snake comes out of the grass and goes across the path, and she's looking back at us, and she didn't see the snake, and the snake didn't see her, and she tripped over the snake, and it coiled her up. How do you say it?
Yeah, coil up. So they coiled up. They kind of got wrapped up. She fell over. She fell like 3 times, and the snake was all around her, wrapped around her.
And I jump up out of the grass and go, like, sprint. I don't even remember. Like, sprint over there and rip the snake off of her.
It was like a superhuman moment, because I was even in the moment. I saw everything happening. I was looking at the sunset. I saw the snake kind of going across. Crew didn't see it. They got wrapped up. And then as soon as I knew it, my wife was already up. My wife was already grabbing the snake by the tail and ripping it off of our daughter. And I didn't even have time to like stand up yet. So even seeing that kind of, I know they talk about moms lifting cars off of their children or whatever, but I feel like there's another time like that. Like my wife moved with super speed, got over there, got the snake off, threw it off, made sure our daughter was okay, and all I could do was go up, and after I just pretty much identified the snake, and then it came back. I took pictures of the snakes. We saw it. We kicked it off. It ended up being a little water moccasin. Not a little water moccasin, the size of my daughter water moccasin.
Yeah, it was.
This thing was huge.
Maybe 4 feet long, would you say?
3 to 4 feet long, but it was thick. It was huge.
It was
scary.
It was
black.
So scary.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, anytime I talk about my kids, I'll probably cry. So, bear with me. But so we get the snake off of her, and I immediately start taking her clothes off of her, and we're running back to the house, because now we have to go all the way through the trails, through the park, through the neighborhood, and back to the house. I don't even know where Jordan is at this point. He's back trying to find like what kind of snake, because we don't know if she's been bit. She's bleeding. I'm bleeding. Like we don't know what is what. And so I'm taking off all of her clothes. I don't even know where they were or where we put them. And we get back to the house, and we get inside, and I've worked in the ER in the past, and all I can think of is like these cases that I've seen. And that is kind of a theme in my life too, is that I just have a hard time like leaving some of that in the past. And so I am struggling to like put on my logical nurse brain, because my mom brain is like taking over, overwhelming. I can't think straight. So I have Jordan call my mom, who can at least speak like some logic and truth. And she's obviously saying you need to go to the ER, because we can't tell if she's been bit or if I've been bit or anything. So we get in the car and we take her to the ER. There's a local ER in our town. And we walk in, and they get us back immediately. And the doctor that is in the ER is a reptile snake specialist. Mm-hmm. He has like a second degree in snakes.
However you want to say it, yeah.
Yeah, like that's his specialty. And like, what in the world? How is that possible? So we're telling him the story, and I could tell at first he was kind of like, what? I don't know. And then Jordan shows him the picture, and he just kind of explains like how lucky we are. And she's not bit. There's no bite on her. The blood is like just from me tackling her on the asphalt. And we
Not from you tackling her, from her getting tripped up.
Yes. Well, I also tackled her.
Yeah.
It was an event. And so we're all fine. Everyone's fine. And we leave. And it was just the craziest thing that I think I've ever been through. And so as we're driving home in the silence with our safe, healthy baby in the car, we look at each other, and we are like, we need to get baptized. Like that was our sign, I think.
It's a coming to Jesus moment, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call it.
And so we text one of the pastors at our church and say like, we're ready, like we want to get baptized. And the next night we go into the church, and it's just us and James, one of the preachers on staff, and Jordan got baptized first, and then he baptized me. And so I feel like that was just like the start of our new lives again. And that decision truly deepened my faith and transformed every part about me. Like, every part about me. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Pretty similar. I had never really, to be honest, I've never read the Bible before this. And after that, we kind of both sat down and decided what we wanted to pour into our children, what we wanted into our lives, where we wanted to take this. And I think the decision was pretty easy. So we started reading the Bible. I went through it by myself, just randomly reading whatever. But now we're on this Bible app. Every day we read a little bit and get it. And I'm really enjoying it. And it really has changed, kind of not changed, but even changed your outlook on life and outlook on situations and how you deal with different things. And
we've both been very blessed with mentors that have poured into our lives. Like right around the time that we had Cruz, when Jamie came into your life, who's a very strong Christian leader and a great mentor to you. And I feel like becoming a mom put me in the space to be a part of Mom Collective, which you'll hear me talk about, and gain leaders that have poured into me and other moms that have poured into me. And it just has opened so many doors. And like I said, widening my circle to those people that just speak truth into you has made such a difference. And later the next month, we found out that we were pregnant with Wilder. So that was just also kind of another crazy thing, that just so much gratitude in that time. And like being in it, I would say being in it, I felt that was the hardest season of my life that I had gone through. And then looking back on it, that was the best season of my life that I have gone through. The most fruitful. Most
transformative, I would say. And it really put us in the right direction.
It absolutely did. So that brings us up to speed. And here we are, feeling deeply passionate about our children having their own relationship with God. We truly believe that this is the most important thing that we can do as parents, is, building that trust and that strength for them to have their own walk with faith. And we hope that we can just show them by our own actions. And then, whenever it's time, they have their own relationship and choose him every time. So, babe, can you talk a little about the characteristics that we've chosen for Wilder and why you see these important?
Our characteristics for Wilder, even as we go through it, as we've been looking into it, it's not really characteristics specifically. I guess it is specifically for Wilder, but also specifically for what I think is most important in life and what young men should strive to be. And it's something that's kind of come in later in life. Like you said, Jamie came into my life, and I think he's led me in the right direction, but led by example, and kind of gave me a whole mindset shift. And my coaching philosophy has changed. What we look for has changed. But our 5 words that we went for were happy, healthy, strong.
Faithful.
What did we decide? Yeah, faithful, God-fearing, or faithful.
I think that's what we decided.
Yeah.
Happy, healthy, strong.
Faithful.
We didn't pick a 5th one because we felt like that encompassed everything. Yeah, so we'll have to pray over that and see. We still have some time. Right now we're recording, it's March 2nd, and his dedication is at the end of March. So we're excited about that. And one of the other questions that we were asked to think about were the people that we wanted to pour into our child's life. And I couldn't help but feel just so incredibly grateful, because we were given 8 invitations. And we are so blessed to have siblings and in-laws and friends that are more like family. We have an amazing church community that our kids see as family. And on top of that, we have a soccer community that loves and cares for our children. Crew is blessed to attend a wonderful preschool that has amazing leaders and staff who love her so dearly. And we had a hard time picking 8 people. Like, we just had to do our parents and grandparents, because we could not have enough invitations for how many people we could think of that we would want to be there. And that just felt like so overwhelmingly clear how blessed we are.
Yeah, absolutely. A great problem to have.
Yeah, so to all the people who pour into our children and who will continue to pour into our children, and the people who come into their lives, please know that we pray for you daily. We're going to interrupt just for a moment for a special guest.
Hey, I'm a big sister, and I can help my brother.
Okay, Crew Pearl. So Dad and I were talking about who would help brother and who would help him love Jesus.
And me.
And love like Jesus.
Me.
You?
Yes.
Who is your best friend?
Wilder.
Wilder. Can you tell everyone what is your name?
Pearl.
Crew Pearl. How old are you?
3.
3. And your best friend is?
Wilder.
And did you know that it's almost
Yeah.
Wilder's baby dedication?
Me.
Do you know what a baby dedication is?
Yeah.
You do? What is it?
It's where babies can play, get the baby toy with a big sister, and hit the learn to crawl.
That's pretty good. Yeah. It's so whenever like mommies and daddies and big sisters and big brothers say that they're going to help teach their baby to know and love Jesus. And I thought, well, you love Jesus, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
It's true? What is your favorite Jesus song?
Praise the Lord, my soul.
Oh, that is a good one. You do love that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you going to tell brother about Jesus?
It's super fun to play play with sister.
It is super fun to play with sister. Do you think brother's going to grow up and love Jesus like you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get a popsicle. It's super yucky.
He's going to get a popsicle that's super yucky?
No, I just eating like a burger and get a popsicle.
Oh.
It's super yucky.
What are you going to tell brother if he's ever scared? Will you say, brother, you're brave?
You're smart. You're strong.
Can you say a prayer for brother?
Thank you for today. We've went Wolfie and Fruity and Mommy and Wilder and Crazy. Amen.
Amen. And please help everyone.
Safe. Shh. I sing that. Everyone safe and happy and healthy and love Jesus and love like Jesus.
Amen. Good job, Crew Pearl. Say thank you.
Thank you.
And we are so grateful, more than words can express. Thank you. Anything else you have?
That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Being here today and sharing your heart with all of us. I'm so grateful for you and everything you do for our family and our children, all your love and support and unwavering faith. You're truly a blessing, and I love you more than words can say. I'm so thankful to have you by my side in this journey, and thank you for being part of this podcast. I love you.
Love you too.
Love you. Mama, I'm so grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule today to listen to Mama of the Wild Crew podcast. I'm Alexis Schmoker, and I hope you loved this conversation and that it resonated with you. Thank you so much for opening up your circle and letting us in as we walk through this wild ride of motherhood together. Remember, in the chaos of motherhood, there is always joy to be found. So keep looking in those little moments that make it all worth it. Be sure to follow along on Instagram at mamaofthewildcrew_podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. I'd love to hear from you, so comment, tag me, DM me, let me know what you think, and let me know what you'd like to hear next. Mama, I am praying for you, I love you, and I cannot wait to see you next time.